Good morning, I'm Peter Milios from the Finance News Network. US stocks rallied overnight after a volatile session as investors analysed the latest US inflation data and its potential impact on the Federal Reserve policy. The S&P 500 rose 1.07%. It was the first time since October 2022 that the broad index had dropped more than 1% intraday and then closed with a gain of over 1%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average added 124.75 points, or 0.31%. At its lowest point during the session, the blue chip index had fallen by as much as 743.89 points. Meanwhile, the tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite surged 2.17%, recovering from earlier declines. Turning to the US sectors now, they were mixed overnight. Technology was the best performer of the day, closing higher by 3.25%. Energy was the worst performer. Mega-cap tech and semiconductor stocks fueled the Nasdaq's rally in afternoon trading, with Nvidia jumping 8% and AMD gaining nearly 5%. The VanEck Semiconductor ETF also climbed about 5%. Bank stocks like JP Chase and Goldman Sachs, which had been down earlier in the day, managed to eke out a modest gain by the session's close. Uranium mining and processing stocks, along with relevant ETFs, experienced a sharp rise after Russian President Vladimir Putin suggested potential restrictions on export of uranium, titanium, and nickel. Cameco Corp's stock jumped 6.4%, NextGen Energy stock rose 4.3%, and Denison Mines gained 5.4%, while Uranium Energy Corp surged 7.3% and Centrus Energy climbed 8.4%. The Global X Uranium ETF and the Sprott Nichols Miners ETF also saw gains of 4.4% and 2.4% respectively, reflecting increased investor interest in these critical minerals. Shares of lithium giant Albemarle surged by 16.7% in early trading and closed up 13.6% after news of a significant industry development. Contemporary Amperex Technology, or CATL, reportedly decided to halt lithium operations to address oversupply issues for lithium carbonate equivalent, which has been exacerbated by a global slowdown in global electric vehicle demand. Despite recent price declines, the industry anticipates a nearly 50% increase in lithium supply this year, with China being the main contributor. The market initially slid after core inflation, excluding volatile food and energy categories, came in slightly higher than expected, dampening hopes for a larger rate cut by the Federal Reserve. Traders are now pricing in an 85% likelihood of a 25 basis point rate cut at the Fed's September 17 to 18 meeting, according to the CME Group's Fed Watch tool. Despite the core reading, the overall CPI hit its lowest annual level since February 2021. September has historically been a tough month for the S&P 500, which has averaged a loss of over 1% over the past decade. The index has also posted losses in September for the past 4 consecutive years. The SIBO Volatility Index briefly traded above 20 during the session before settling back to 18, indicating elevated uncertainty among investors. And looking ahead to the Australian landscape, the SPI futures are pointing to a 0.6% gain. Thank you for listening and have a great day.